Hey everyone, so there's a lot going on in the world right now and it's a little scary out there, and I know there's a lot of self-isolating and social distancing, and these are things that are not uncommon for people with a mental disorder, especially with depression. It's kind of something you do automatically, but it's not usually a good thing. It's just something that kind of happens, and so right now with it being forced, it can be even harder because it can kind of force you to slip into a state that you don't want to be in. So today I wanted to talk about a few tips to kind of help deal with that, as well as a couple things to look to make sure that your mental health isn't getting worse as this goes on. So let's hop into that. So let's start with the warning signs. Some of the big ones, obviously, a change in eating habits. If you're eating a lot more, eating a lot less, these can be common signs of depression. Same thing with sleeping habits. For some people, maybe they don't get the full 8 hours. Maybe they normally sleep 6 hours a night, and now they're sleeping 8 or 9 hours a night, and that can be a sign of depression. So again, don't look at for a specific number so much as a variation in your normal sleeping patterns. Obviously, things like suicidal thoughts and ideations, cutting, things like this. Obviously, those are huge things to be worried about, and in those cases, you really should consult a doctor, and you got to be worried about that. And, basically, you're just kind of looking for anything that's out of a normal realm for you. If things are seeming to slip in one side and the other, even if they seem mild, you got to really focus on those things, because those are the big warning signs that a much bigger problem is coming. Alright, so now that you know what to look out for, let's talk about some things that can help with this. Whether you're actually slipping into some kind of depression, whether you have depression, or honestly, even if you normally have perfectly fine mental health, being isolated is really hard for people. It's something that a lot of people aren't used to. So a couple tips to kind of help out with that. One of them is keeping a schedule. I know normally you're used to getting up and you do things, and maybe you get the kids ready for school, you get ready for work, and it's not the same, especially like even the people that are working from home are, they don't have to get dressed, they may not have to shower that morning, they may not do a lot of these things, and so it's important to keep kind of a schedule going. So still set those alarms, make sure you're taking that shower, make sure you're still making breakfast, making sure whatever is on that list, keep some kind of pattern, because it kind of helps you regulate the day, and it kind of keeps your brain a little bit more focused on something. My next tip is exercising, and this is a big tip because this is the tip that I would have even if you weren't isolating. Exercise is extremely important. It releases endorphins, it's good for the body, it's just an all-around great thing physically, but it's even more important mentally. And in a time like this, exercise is so important. A lot of places don't have gyms that are open, they don't have places you can go to. I personally do Krav Maga, and they're kind of doing a thing, but for safety and social distancing reasons, I don't go, so I'm not getting any kind of workout. And so the thing is you still gotta do something. So if you have weights at home, you can lift weights. You can do exercises like push-ups, things like that. If you go to YouTube, you can find a million exercise videos that don't require any kind of equipment. And so, but keeping exercising as part of your routine is a big deal, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's like 10-15 minutes a day. Like, you don't have to spend hours working out, but a little bit of that can go a very long way. Another big one, and this one's a little bit weird right now, is with self-isolating and social distancing. A lot of people feel like they have to stay inside, and that's not true. You just have to be safe if you leave the house. One of the big ones is just getting out and going somewhere. On Sunday was, we went out to an area nearby called Reddington, and it's basically a bunch of dirt roads. And the thing was, I went and I flew my drone, and I took some photos, and we did some hiking and some biking. And the thing was, is we still practiced safe social distancing. It was just me and my fiance together. We lived together, so we're already in that same area. So, we didn't interact with anybody else. We didn't have contact with anybody else. So we still practiced all the safe measures, but allowed us to get out and do something. And not only the activity, but just being out in the sun can go a long way. And so that is something that I recommend, is that you do want to be safe. You don't want to go to the park and hang out with 20 friends in a big group. Like, you want to be safe about it, but getting out into the sunshine is very important. Even if it's just, you go outside and do some gardening and nobody's around, that being outside and doing something outside can go a very long way to helping with your mental health. Another big one right now is hobbies. You know, some people have hobbies already, some people not so much. Me personally, like, I play drums. Right now I'm actually getting back into some lockpicking just for fun because I have a lot of free time, and I bought a lockpick kit years ago that I never used. But you know, it's anything. It's, you know, it's knitting, it's sewing, it's painting, it's, you know, I mean, something as simple as, you know, coloring in a coloring book, or, you know, playing video games, or whatever the case may be. Like, find something to distract your brain, something to fill your time, and, you know, it certainly beats just sitting around or just sitting watching TV for 20 hours. Just something to kind of mix things up, and obviously having a couple of hobbies can go a long way. Doing this for an hour and that for an hour, and it'll do a lot to help kind of break up your day and make you not quite feel so isolated. And speaking of isolation, you know, I know we're not supposed to go see people, interact with people, things like that in most places, but it doesn't mean you can't talk to people. Talking to people is a big deal, so you call your friends, call your family, you know, Skype with people. Some people are doing like I've seen people playing Dungeons and Dragons online in games, or doing, you know, different stuff like that, and those are a really good way to get that human interaction, that same feeling, and it feels a lot more personal than just texting or, you know, commenting through Instagram or whatever the case may be. Like, actually seeing or talking to those people, even if it's digitally, can do a lot for you. So I highly recommend that. So my main point here is just to try to keep your sanity. Whatever you have to do, you need to stay sane, especially right now with the entire world going insane. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and actually, before I go, at the time of shooting this, March 25th, it's actually my birthday, so to anybody who watched this, thank you. It's a big birthday gift to me. I appreciate anybody that is willing to give me their time, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.